half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Take me home, cause I wanna feel like I belong. They relate to all this pain in my past, so they listen to my song. So let's go back to where it began and where it all started from. Take this chance, one last dance, cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me, girl. Let me show you what I wanna do. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you. Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Yeah, where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here?
There we go. Let's take it off mute. Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another live stream. So, of course, it is Wednesday, the 14th of August, and we are going to go through the Bitcoin technical analysis. We're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to take a look at what's going on, what I'm looking at in the charts at this moment in time, what I'm looking for next. And then of course we will also take a look at the next trades that I'm looking to take as well. So if that all does sound interesting to you, then please make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It does help me out, helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring this content to you. And of course, if you're new to the channel as well, make sure that you do subscribe. Enough of that. We will jump into the charts and we will see what is going on. So let's start off with with where we are in the market at this moment in time, okay? And then we'll talk about what I've been looking at the moment, and we will then talk about, of course, the next trade. So of course, first of all, still very much in the long trade, right? I'm still very much in the long trade. It's a really profitable long trade. Stop loss has been moved to entry now. Of course, this trade was given to the team over on the Visionary Discord all the way back here on the 5th of August. Here was the trade setup that I told the team that I was taking. As you can see here, I'm taking a swing long from the failed auction. Okay, and as you can see, this is how that trade has played out. It's been a really, really nice trade. And of course, I told the team as well, when I was taking profits here, TP1, stop loss has been moved to entry. Okay, so this is when we were coming into the value area low. And remember, this is still a very, very important level. So this is something that we are going to get onto in a few minutes, right? We will talk about that, but let's just talk about the context, right? Let's just talk about the context for Bitcoin again. Okay, we always like to start with this because we just need to remind ourselves what the context is. Okay, we do need to remind ourselves because I understand it is quite easy to forget what the basics are, okay, and what the what the fundamentals of the market situation is at this moment in time. And it is because it's pretty basic, right? Everybody understands market structure. Everybody knows what it is, okay? And that's why a lot of people start to forget about it, okay? Because they start to focus too much on the advanced stuff, right? And I understand, right? And I say this a lot. Sometimes you need to, the advanced stuff is very important, and you need to understand that because it teaches you how the market works, okay? And it teaches you when the market is about to move in a certain direction. Of course, not 100% of the time, but the majority of the time, okay, with a high probability win rate. Sometimes we need to strip all of that back and just look at the basics because the basics, right, have been helping me enter into these really profitable trades recently. Okay. And of course, all of these trades were given to the team on the Discord, right? All the proof is in the Discord. Okay. All the proof is on these live streams as well, because I'm sharing all of that with you. Okay. Of course, it's not in the time here. Okay. If you want all of the updates, okay, in the time, when I'm taking the trades, okay, what I'm looking at in the time, of course, that's what you get over on the Discord. So if you want that, it's the first link in the description. But okay, what are we understanding right now? Okay, well, we're understanding that price is bearish. Why is price bearish? Well, price is bearish because we are in this bearish market structure. Okay, we are forming continuous lower highs, okay, and lower lows. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, this is the trend at the moment. Okay, and you hear this saying a lot, right? The trend is your friend until the end. Okay, trade the trend until the end. That's what I like to say. Trade the trend until the end. Okay, but what you hear a lot of people say is the trend is your friend until the end, and it is still a very, very valid thing. Okay, and people do forget that. So what we understand is that the trend is bearish, right? So we can be looking for higher, for lower prices. Okay, even though I am currently long on the market. Okay, what am I expecting? Okay, well, I'm expecting Bitcoin to form another lower high. Why am I expecting Bitcoin to form another lower high? Well, because that is the trend, right? The trend has been lower high after lower high after lower high. Okay, with lower low after lower low after lower low. Okay, so we're looking for this trend to continue. Of course, right, the trend can break, but as long as we remain in this bearish market structure, I can continue to look for another low. So yes, I am long here, okay, from down here, like I was long from down here, okay, and like I was also long from down here. Okay, we took advantage of these two previous rises, and this is what I'm doing here as well. I'm taking advantage of this rise, and I do still believe that this rise could continue higher. Okay, I do still think that this rise could continue higher, right, and come up to a possible major level above us, i.e. 67,000, where we do have this POC. Okay, and we also have other confluences with the naked points of control as well. Okay, but for me, this is a pretty important level. Again, I do think that if we can come up to that level, I do think we could get a nice short trade from there. Of course, it's not 100%, right? Because we may not see any bearish signs up there. We may break above it, backtest at support, and then we may go up to the value area high, where we then break the bearish market structure, and then we head up to all-time high, right? That is a possibility, okay? But I understand what the trend is at the moment, okay? And the trend is, okay, we can be looking for a short trade as price starts to rise, right? What has also been the trend? Well, the trend on the lower high has been like a failed auction of the previous pivot high, okay? That has happened 3 times now. So again, this is something that I would be looking for, because I'm looking for this trend to continue. So for me right now, I'm in a very, very good position. Okay, I feel like I'm in a really good position because I'm long. Right, I've taken a TP1. I've moved my stop loss to entry. So this is now a risk-free trade, a completely risk-free trade, right? So, okay, all I can do now is sit back, right? Remain patient, okay, and just wait, right? Are we going to go to higher prices and go to that target of $67,000 where I can look, okay, for that next take profit? Because of course I still have about 50% of that trade still open, right? So I'll be looking for another take profit up here, okay? Or are we going to come down? Are we going to stop out the long that I'm currently in, okay? Which could then give us another opportunity to enter into a new long trade, right? It could could give us the opportunity to enter into a new long trade. I like the confluence that we have down here, okay? I like the confluence with the GP, the 786. We also have a daily naked point of control down there as well. Okay, and we could be looking for absorption coming into that level, right? I spoke a lot about this yesterday, okay, so I won't go into too much detail, but I like the fact, okay, at approximately $54,000, we do have a lot of support, okay, and we have the possibility for bullish CVD, which of course is absorption, indicating to us that there is a big player that is absorbing all of the sells, all of the shorts coming into the market, right? So initially, right, that's what I would be looking for if we were to see the pullback here, Okay. And I mean, this is what I was speaking to the team about this morning. I didn't do a daily market update this morning for the team because I didn't want to repeat myself because for the past 2 days, I've literally just been saying the same thing. And sometimes it gets like this, right? Sometimes it does get like this. It gets a little bit boring. Okay. And this is what you have to understand coming into trading, coming into the trading game. And, I'm sure that many of you are fairly experienced in this industry as well. And I'm sure many of you understand as well that, sometimes this market can get a bit boring, okay? And it's exactly like this previous move up here. Okay, this previous move up here, this happened over a approximately 23-day period. Okay, in that 23-day period, I only took 3 trades, right? The first one, of course, being the initial swing long trade. Okay, so the expectation for that is that you hold it over a long period of time. Okay, the next one was just an intraday short trade. So that was only to be held open for a day. Okay, and that's exactly what we did. Okay, and then the next one was a long trade from here, okay, on the pullback, right? Because I still liked price to go higher here. I was still looking for price to go higher here. I liked this long trade, and it was a really, really, really nice long trade, okay? And yeah, in that 23-day, roughly 23-day period, I only took 3 trades, okay? But all of those trades were really, really profitable. Okay, so what we have to understand is that yes, this game sometimes can get boring. Okay, at this moment in time, right? Yes, it's a little bit boring, but what we have to understand is, that we positioned ourselves in such a way that, okay, right, we don't need to worry about price being boring right now because we can just sit back, we can relax, kick our feet up, and not have to worry about that because we're in a really good position, right? We've longed the low, okay? We've longed the failed auction of the range low. We've taken a TP1, we've moved the stop loss to entry. I'm happy with the profit that I've taken here. Okay, so if we do start to see a pullback here, I do get stopped out. Okay, great, fine. Right, I can look for another position. Right, if we start to move higher, okay, great. This trade here can print more profit. Okay, which is great. Okay, which is absolutely great. So yes, I understand sometimes this game does get a little bit boring, but what you have to remember is you need to focus on putting yourself in a position where yes, okay, it's boring, but it's fine. Okay, I'm not worried about it being boring. I don't care that it's boring because I'm in a really, really good position. Okay, and that's how you need to change your mindset as instead of being, oh god, the market's really boring, I hate this is horrible, I need to enter into a trade, to okay, I'm in a really, really good position here, the markets are boring, okay, I step away, I don't need to do anything, fine, okay, I can remain patient and wait for things to unfold, right? So this is like, again, I like to teach you guys here as well, like kind of like mindset tips as well. And this is like another one, yeah. The market is a bit boring at this moment in time. Yes, we're having a little bit of volatility, like intraday volatility. I've already said that I'm not interested in trading this. Okay. Yes, you've had like a little. Well, first of all, you had a bit of an intraday short here. Okay. You've had another intraday short here as well. Okay. For me, not really interested in any of this. I'm kind of just focusing on the bigger trades at this moment in time, okay, where I'm putting larger capital into the trades and I'm looking to hold these trades for a little bit of a longer period. Why? Because this is how I like to adapt to the markets, right? I understand at this moment in time that swing trades are a little bit more favorable than day trades. Why? Because price has been pretty one directional recently. Yes, I understand we're consolidating sideways now, okay, but what we have to understand is that price has been very, very one directional. When I say one directional, okay, it's that we've only seen price head in one direction. Okay, so from the short trade that we had up here, okay, price was just going down. Though it was not a good opportunity to enter into a long trade here. Okay, there was no good opportunity to enter into a long trade on this way down. Why? Because price was just literally going down. Okay, we had a very small move up here, and I think we actually longed that little move up, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was not great for long trades, right? Again, here, this rise up here, right? It was really, really good. Okay, it was a really, really good bullish rise. Of course, we were in a long trade as well, right? Yes, I did take a bit of an intraday short, but shorts weren't favorable here, right? Shorts weren't the best thing, right? The best trade was, of course, the long that we took from the failed auction. Okay, for me, I just sat in that long trade, and of course, I then added to it once I saw another high probability trade setup. Okay, it's like this move down. Of course, I didn't take the short trade, but there was the short trade from there, and I gave that away in the daily market update for the team on the 29th of the month that has just been. And yeah, of course, some of the team did take that trade, right? And yeah, for this trade here, it was there was no good opportunity for long trades. Why? Okay, because price was just one directional down. This is the trend that we're seeing at this moment in time. Okay, so how am I adapting? Okay, well, I'm looking for these bigger swing trades at the pivot high and at the pivot low. Okay, rather than trying to enter into these intraday trades, right? Here, yes, okay, we're having a bit of a slight consolidation phase here, but prior to this, right, one directional move up. Okay, I'm taking taking full advantage of this. Why? Because I'm in a long from that range low. Okay, so what we have to understand is we need to adapt to the markets. We can't expect the markets to adapt to us. So at this moment in time, yes, okay, right now we're seeing some smaller intraday trades as price is starting to range here. Okay, and we'll get on to, like why we're starting to see this range as well. But yeah, for me, the best position to be in at this moment in time is the position that I am in, where I am long from that range low. Okay, so I'm happy with the position I'm in. Again, I'm happy to just remain patient. I have my plans. Okay, I have my plan set out, and whichever plan, okay, price takes, okay, whatever direction price takes, okay, whatever plan price goes down, I will act off of that plan, i.e., right, if the of course, one of the plans I have is, okay, we reclaim value area low, which we haven't done yet. If we do that, okay, the plan is to look for $67,000, right, where I can take a TP1. Great, right? Okay, the other plan is we reject from here, which we're doing right now, okay, and then we come back to 54 of the long trade at entry. Okay, of course, I've taken a TP1 already. Right, stop losses at entry. So this is a completely free trade. I've cemented, okay, $2,000 in a profit. If we do come back to entry, okay, I will just lose the unrealized profit. That's fine. Okay, I'm happy to do that because then I understand, right, we're coming into a level again that I'm looking to long, right? $54,000. I'm still interested in being long from that level, okay, but I'm not willing to turn this winning trade into a losing trade. So my stop loss is at entry. Again, we understand that the market dynamics can change when we come down there, right? So if we come down here and we're not looking bullish anymore, right, then I don't want to be in that position, okay? And then price comes down and stops us out. Okay, that's annoying, right? So I'd rather move my stop loss to entry here. Okay, get stopped out of the trade if we come down here at entry, right? And then look for a new trade down here if, okay, I see the bullish confirmations that I want to see. Because of course, I'm never preempting limit orders. Okay, I'm never like putting limit orders in and expecting price to bounce off of the level. I would never ever do that. That's not how I like to trade. Okay, that's how I used to trade, and that did not work for me. Okay, I found what works for me now. Okay, and that is okay. Right, I have a level of interest. I then wait for price to come into that level of interest of mine. Okay, and then I come over to the order flow. Right, I look at the in-time data, the data that's actually coming into the market at that second. Okay, right, and I do my evaluation here, okay, and decide whether I want to take the trade or not. Okay, that's how I like to trade. So for me, right, yes, I'm looking to long $54,000 if we come down there, but I'm not going to set a limit order there because for me, limit orders, I've used them in the past, and I just wiped out. If you watch this channel enough, you will know that I've said this so many times. I've wiped out 3 accounts before, okay, with not a small amount of money on. There was quite a lot of money on there, and just completely just destroyed my life, to be perfectly honest with you. And that was because I was using, I was trading like a retail trader. So I was trading breakouts of triangle patterns, head and shoulders patterns, all of these retail patterns I was trading. Okay, but also, I was using limit orders as well. Okay, and once I eliminated all of those things, right, things started to fall in place and things started to work for me. Okay, so yes, okay, if we come back down here, I'm looking for a long trade, right? I've walked through that yesterday. I've walked through it briefly today, why I want to take this long trade. But I'm waiting to see for the bullish confirmations down here, right? I want to see absorption there. I want to see bullish CVD. Okay, I want to see a nice reaction off of the level for me to take that trade. Right, if we're not getting the absorption, if we're not getting the bullish CVD, okay, then I'm not looking for that long trade, right? I will look for lower prices and I won't take it, right? And yeah, let's talk a little bit about where we are now, okay? Where we are now, because yeah, this is I've sidetracked a little bit, right? Because what I was getting onto, right, was that this morning for the team, I didn't do a daily market update. I didn't want to repeat myself, okay? Because for the past 2 days, we've been doing the exact same thing. Right, we've been doing the exact same thing. We've just been ranging sideways, and I've been saying the same thing. Right, it gets a little bit boring. So I told the team here, I won't do a daily market update today because my plan remains unchanged. Reclaiming value area low would mean I look towards POC at 67,000, where I would then take a TP on the long. However, rejecting from value area low means we could target $54,000 for the possible long at the GP786 with the daily naked point of control. At this time, we are testing the resistance at the value area low. So I'm exercising patience at this time. And again, I'm still exercising that patience because I'm not at a level of interest for me. I'm not at a level that I'm interested in taking more profit off of this long trade that I'm in. Okay, so I'm not at a TP level. Okay, and I'm not also at a level that I'm interested in trading. Right, I'm not in a level that I'm interested in shorting. I'm not at a level that I'm interested in taking another long from. Okay, so for me, it's just waiting patiently. Okay, and waiting for that next trade setup. Right, so again, like I said, if we reclaim this, I'm looking towards $67,000. We haven't reclaimed this yet. This is not a reclaim for me. Okay, we've broken above it, yes, but we failed to hold that value area lower support. We've done this before as well. Right? We did this right here. We got above it, but we failed to hold it as support, and then we used it as resistance. Okay, and we rejected. We've now tested it again. We've gotten above it. Great. Okay, we're above it. We failed to remain above it. Okay, so it's not a reclaim for me. We're rejecting off of it once again. Okay, and I mean, if we're going to continue to reject from it, to be honest with you, right, we can then look towards $54,000. Okay, so for me, it's just patience, right? Let's see what plays out. I'm not interested in taking a trade here. Okay, yeah, I understand that some people have taken trades from like $62,000. Okay, great, right? That's your plan, right? For me, I'm not interested in trading here. I'm interested in trading from up here, and I'm interested in trading from down here. Okay, anywhere in between there, not really interested. Okay, yes, maybe a little bit below $67,000, depending on where the POC, because of course a POC can change. So yeah, maybe the POC drops a little bit lower. We will see. Okay, but for me, there's no level of interest here that I'm interested in trading. Okay, so it's just remaining patient, waiting for higher prices or waiting for lower prices, and then I will look for that next trade setup. Okay, for me, it's just patience, right? Not interested in anything here. Yes, we have the lower, like you can look at this, right? This is a perfect like failed auction. Okay, for me though, I look at this. Okay, this is any average Joe can trade this. It's simple, right? But what we want to see is we want to see what happened there as well, like this one as well. You know, it looks amazing, right? With swing failure pattern, the high, right? We've got a perfect pullback. You know, we failed auction, the high, perfect pullback. But we want to see what the actual, data that was coming into the markets were, right? So let's have a look at little look. What was happening on this, right? So on this, we had shorts getting wrecked. Okay, we had longs closing, or yeah, I'd say longs closing here rather than longs getting wrecked. Reason being is, yeah, longs closing. Reason being is because price is at a high and we're seeing open interest decrease with negative delta. You don't tend to see long trades getting wrecked at a high, really, okay, unless there's a lot of long trades at a high. So for me, that's longs taking profit. Okay, fine. We can then pull up the net longs, net shorts. We can see, okay, longs are closing here. Great, that all lines up. Then what we can actually see is we have shorts opening there, very minimal amounts of shorts, and then lots of longs opening down here, which are all underwater at this moment in time. Well, the majority of them are underwater at this moment in time. So that could lead to further downside. But yeah, looking at this, okay, right, it's a simple failed auction. I wouldn't have been interested in trading this really. I don't really like what was happening up here, to be honest with you. It's not enough, right? I want to see a lot happening up here, and we're not seeing a huge amount. So yeah, not really too interested about that. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're an aggressive trader and you don't need to see the order flow lining up, then I guess you could have taken those trades. Personally, for me, I'm not looking for those trades at this moment in time. Let me just pull the chat up as well. I can see a comment has come in. Ben, good to see you back, my friend. Good to see you back. Can you talk about why you see 54 region is a point of interest for you? Yes, of course. So, yeah, first of all, we have the POC, right? Again, just that's lining up with the trend. Okay, that's lining up with the trend, right, with the lower high, and then of course like the failed auction or swing value pattern of a pivot high. So that's what we're looking at for the short. For the long trade, okay, this is a little bit more difficult, okay, but I like the fact, right, that we do have some support coming in with the GP 786. Okay, now I love the golden pocket, right? I used to love it a lot more because it is, of course, it does a lot of the time acts as really nice support. At the moment, I haven't seen, over the past year, I haven't seen it act as much of support as it used to. Okay, more because people know about it, So what we're looking at now is kind of like the 786, right? I think that's an amazing level, that 786. The amount of times we've perfectly respected this, it's just absolutely amazing. So I'm looking between the area of this GP 786. I like that for support just because of this fib. Right, but like what I say a lot, I don't like looking at a fib without seeing absorption, without seeing bullish or bearish CVD, whether price is pulling back or whether price is rising. So, I have to see absorption coming into that level. So at this moment in time, I'm unsure whether I will trade the level. Okay, but I like the fact that we've got a GP 786 with the possibility of having absorption there. Why is there a possibility of having absorption? Well, if we just take a look at XO charts, we can see, right, that there's a big gap between the low and where we are now on the price action. But then if you take a look at the CVD, there's a pretty small gap. Okay, so in my opinion, right, absorption is pretty likely. Okay, I would be quite confident that we get absorption. However, right, if we do see a very quick move down, that's when we won't get absorption. So we can't preempt it. We can't say absorption is going to happen, but we can kind of have a rough idea of whether we're going to see it or not. And for me, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yes, okay, we're probably going to get absorption. We're probably going to get bullish CVD coming in. So for me, yeah, it's looking good. This is why I'm kind of thinking about it. But of course, if we get a very quick, sharp move down, that will just invalidate it. But I like the fact that we have the possibility of absorption with the GP 786. But on top of that, okay, because I always like to look for 3 bits of confluence. Okay, that's just what I mainly look for. If I'm being more aggressive, I'll only look for 2, but mainly I like to look for 3 bits of confluence. And we have a daily naked point of control there, which of course is just another perfect bit of support, right? So I like the support of the GP 786 with the naked point of control and then the possibility of absorption, right? For me, right, that is an absolutely amazing trade, right? And just to show you that, just to show you 2 examples of me actually taking that trade before, okay, just to show you 2 really quick examples. So the previous time I've taken a very similar trade, okay, was this one here, right? We had a rise, okay, a pullback, right, into the GP 786. You can see there we perfectly tapped the GP 786 there, pretty much to the dollar, right? And we had a naked point of control. We had this daily naked point of control there as well, which is, of course, was support, right? We also had absorption there. I wouldn't have traded this if we didn't have absorption, but we had absorption there, okay? And I took this long trade, and as you can see, that was a really, really nice long trade. So I'm literally looking for the exact same setup that we saw there, right? The exact same setup. Again, I say this all of the time, rinse and repeat what works, okay? Rinse and repeat. Find a strategy that works, okay? For me, I found a strategy that works, okay? I like to share that strategy with you, okay? This is what I'm looking for, right? This is exactly what I'm looking for, okay? And it proves itself time and time and time again. If I see this, right, and if I see absorption, I like this trade setup, okay? And there's another example I can show you, which was actually from the long trade here. Okay, this was from the long trade from here, right, that we added to that previous long trade we had from range low. For this, I'm going to, because I don't think I've saved it, so I'm going to have to go into the Visionary Discord. I'm pretty sure it was a little bit further up here. Was it this one? Yeah, I believe it was this one here. So no, it wasn't this one here. Where are we? Here. Okay, so yeah, here, where I just compounded it there. So in the daily market update, we were talking about it, okay? We had the GP, we had the 786. This was a little bit different, right? Because we had the value area low. That's what I was looking at here. I wasn't looking at a daily naked point of control, weekly naked point of control, or monthly naked point of control, any naked point of control. I was just looking at the GP 786, and then I was viewing the value area low as well. Okay, so that was my first, like, those were the two bits of confluence that I was firstly looking at, okay? And then I was also talking about the absorption that we had there, okay? So then we come over here, right? Yeah, we had GP 786, and then what did we have? Okay, we had really nice absorption where we had price looking quite bullish because we had the higher lows, okay? And then, of course, CVD was telling us that there's more aggressive shorting happening here, or more aggressive sells coming into the market here than there was back here. However, price is looking bullish, right? So this tells us that there's a big player absorbing, right, all of the sells, all of the shorts that's coming into the market. And once we see all of those shorts and all of those sells get fully absorbed by this big buy limit order, okay, then what we tend to see is actually price start to reverse, right? That's exactly what we saw. So of course, when we did that, I said to the team, just compounded the long trade, in brackets here, added to the long trade, just for anybody that didn't understand. And yeah, there you go, right? Taking some profits off of the table here at POC. Okay, we had a really, really lovely rise off of that. Okay, basically GP 786, absorption, value area low. Okay, 3 bits of confluence there. Really, really love it. Okay, then we came up to the value area high. Amazing. Okay. We even came above the value area high as well. And yeah, that was just an absolutely amazing long trade there. Of course, you can see just a little over $10,000 in a profit on that long. And of course, that was over 2 trades, right? So I longed the range low originally, the failed auction range low. And then that was just adding to it off of the GP 786 with absorption at the value area low. Okay. So those are 2 examples of when I've taken this trade before. Okay, so for me, right, I know this setup, right? I know this setup in and out. Okay, and I know that I like this setup, and I know what I want to see when I see this setup. Okay, and at this moment in time, I like it, right? I like the support that we have there. Okay, I like the fact as well that we are kind of expecting a little bit higher prices. Yes, I understand, and we do also have to factor this in as well, that okay, we're in bearish market structure. This could be a lower high to come down and form a lower low. So this is where we need to be a little bit cautious in this as well. Okay, and I do understand that as well, right? Yes, I'm looking for a long trade here, and if I see it, okay, great. But if I see, let's say we see a really, really quick move down, okay, like a really quick move down. And yes, we're starting to see absorption. I'm not going to long, though, a very quick and sharp move down. Okay, if we get a really sharp and quick move down, right, I will wait a little bit and wait for a little bit of a bounce. Okay, because I understand, that's just trying to catch a falling knife there, right? But if we're slowly grinding down into the level, right, we stall at the level. Right, maybe we sit there for about half an hour, maybe an hour. Okay, and then I'm thinking like, okay, right, I like this. we are seeing absorption here. Okay, so I'll take the long trade, and we can look for higher prices here. Okay, so yeah, that's why I like the long trade from down there. And then, of course, I've walked through 3 bits of confluence with GP 786. We have possible absorption, which would be another bit of confluence, and then we have the naked point of control, daily naked point of control, which would be support as well. But then you can also actually factor in market structure as well as a little bit of confluence as well, and that, of course, you would be forming bullish market structure with the higher low. So for me, you can add that in. That's nice, right? But that's kind of what the trade is just solely based off. So yeah, you can also possibly look at the previous range low as support, maybe. So what's that coming in at? 53,200 and $200 approximately. Okay, so you've also got this previous range low there, so maybe that could be acting as support there as well. So we'll see what happens down there if we do come down there, of course. But yeah, that's why I like this possible long trade from down there. And then, of course, yeah, the short trade, of course, that's just off of resistance up here. We've got naked points of control up here. Where are we? You've got too much on the object tree. We've got POC, we've got naked point of controls up there, and then, of course, it would just be looking for a pivot high to then be taken out for a failed auction or a swing failure pattern for the short trade there. That's a pretty basic trade that we take here on a day-to-day basis, pretty much. But yeah, those are the only trades that I see at this moment in time, other than, of course, the short from all-time high. But we're very far away from there at this moment in time. We've got a lot of resistance to get above. So yeah, I won't go into too much. Yeah, I won't go into that now. But I'm sure you know what I'm looking for up there, right? We've seen it before, right? I want to see lots of longs opening up, lots of FOMO longs, and then I want to see those trapped for that perfect short trade setup. So yeah, that's why I'm looking for the long down there. And I mean, many of you may be looking at this and thinking, okay, if you're looking for a long trade down there, why don't you just stay in the trade that you're in? Because you're long from that level anyway. But what I said earlier, I don't want to turn this winning trade into a losing trade. Okay, so I've taken a TP1, right? I've moved my stop loss to entry, so it is now a risk-free trade. If I get stopped out, fine. Okay, let's look for that that next long trade, because it may not be there. We may not get the long trade, right? We may just see a really quick move down, absorption just gets completely wiped out, okay, and then we look for lower prices there. So for me, it's like, okay, I want to see the bullish signs down here before I take the trade, okay? And of course, I don't want to turn the winning trade into a losing trade, so I'll move my stop loss to entry and just leave it at that, okay? And in the long run, that will be more profitable, because then you've already taken a trade, then you're entering into another trade. Of course, if that does play out in the way you would expect it to. But yeah, that's pretty much it, right? We're ranging here, and the reason why we're ranging is because we're at resistance, right? We're at resistance, and we are seeing longs coming in here still, and the bulls do want to bring it up. The bulls really do want to bring it up, but yeah, we've got resistance here, and we're seeing a lot of the bulls actually take profit up here, to be honest with you. So we can see, where are we? Let's go back into the 30-minute. So coming back into it at this high, right, we saw 17 million long trades close. And again, going back to it, why I said these are not, or why I don't think, okay, these are long trades getting wrecked, is because we are at a high, right? We've had a rise towards the upside. So what is this, right? This is long trades closing, right? Taking profit. Then you can bring up the net longs and you can see, right, long trades are closing up here. So they are taking profit. So that's what we know is happening up here. And of course, when they're taking profit, what are they doing? Well, they're selling back into the market, right? So we're coming into resistance, and we're seeing those long trades close, right? When they're closing into that resistance, okay, because of course, a lot of people are probably looking at this value area low, okay? A lot of people are looking at this, okay, and they're thinking, oh, this is resistance, so let's take some profit on the long. It's exactly what I did. So I'm adding to this as well, right? I'm adding to the price stalling, right? But I understand if you don't take profit, okay, you're not a real trader. But we are stalling here because those longs are taking profit here, okay? They're selling into the market, and then they're pushing the price lower, Okay, so yeah, that's why we're stalling here. But then the longs are happy to buy down here, right? The longs are happy to buy down here. They're happy to long down here. So they're longing from down there and then taking it up to the resistance. And yeah, you've seen 31 million longs there. You've seen 15 million, 20 million, 37 million, 16 million, 6.7 million. They're happy to long down here. Okay, but then they're understanding. Okay, we're now coming into resistance with the value area low, so they're then taking profit, which is pushing the price down. What we need to see is those long trades remaining open, and then more long trades coming in on the reclaim of the value area low. For me, I wouldn't be looking for a short squeeze. Could we? Let's have a quick look. Like 42 million long trades there. No, I wouldn't be looking for a short squeeze really. There are shorts that have opened up, but not a huge amount. Not a huge amount whatsoever. Yeah, and up here, there haven't been any shorts really that have opened. And if there have, they've been, a very minimal amount. So, yeah, really not interested in a short squeeze. It would have to be longs opening for us to see this rise up. And then, yes, we can get a short squeeze a little bit higher because then we do have short trades from higher up here. But yeah, at this moment in time, we need to see the longs coming in to push price higher. So it's just patience, right? It's just literally patience. But yeah, Amelia, hello there. I can see you're watching over on Kick. So yeah, nice to see you. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. So yeah, for me, the best thing to be doing, the best trade to take right now is to take no trade. Right? I like to say that, there's 3 trades. There's a long trade, there's a short trade, and then there's no trade. Sometimes no trade is a profitable trade because, of course, you stop yourself from losing money. So you have to remember that sometimes as well. So right now, there's no trade, right? Because I'm in a trade. And I don't need to, I don't need to force myself into a trade for no unknown reason. This is not a level of interest for me. This is not a level that I'm interested in shorting, and a level I'm interested in longing. Okay, I'm interested in shorting from higher. Okay, and I'm interested in shorting from lower. Okay, so I wait for those, right? Like I say a lot, I like to short rises towards the upside, and I like to long pullbacks. Okay, yes, I know we've had a rise here, and yes, you could argue that there was a bit of an intraday short trade from here. But for me, let me just confirm that. Actually, let me just confirm that there was an intraday short trade from there. Where am I looking? Let's just go into 2 hour. So I'm looking here. Yeah. So there was an intraday short trade from there. Well, there was. Yeah, there just was. There just was a short trade from there. But yeah, not really a huge level of interest of mine. But there was a short trade from there. Yeah, and I know that Mo took the short trade, and I know that Damien took the short trade as well. He shared that in the Discord. Let's actually find that, because that was a really nice short trade from Damien actually. Yeah, so this was the short trade that Damien took. So yeah, there was a short trade from there, right? There was a short trade from there, but yeah, it's just not a level of interest really for me. I mean, I'm good. Thanks for asking. Good, that is good. Are you a full-time streamer? No, I'm a full-time trader, but I just do this because I kind of just enjoy it, to be honest with you. Previously, a hobby of mine was trading, and then I got to a level where I was like, wow, I'm actually making more money trading than I am in my job. So, it's when I transitioned to full-time trading. But yeah, as where we are in the market at this moment in time proves my point. Sometimes it gets a little bit boring. So yeah, a hobby of mine now is to share my analysis with people. I first started to do it over on Twitter, and people liked it over on Twitter. So I thought I'd start a YouTube channel, and yeah, that's kind of how it started, really. But yeah, I just enjoy doing it. So yeah, it gives me something to do instead of sitting around all day, which I quite enjoy. Do you consider the BTC ES correlation when entering positions, or is it mainly order flow? Then use ES to help your bias. That's yeah, you stated it there perfectly. I won't use it as correlation. I will just use it to help my bias, or like help convince myself, if you want to put it that way, that I'm doing the right thing. If I'm seeing the ES rise, if I'm seeing the stock market rise, and I'm in a long position, then I look at that and I fill myself with confidence in saying, okay, the stock market is rising. This can pull Bitcoin up. But no, I don't look at the ES and say, oh, I'm not going to take a Bitcoin trade because the ES has done this, right? Because it's been proven so many times that they can be inversely correlated for periods of time. Okay, it's been proven so many times that they can be inversely correlated for a certain period of time. So I will never not take a trade because the ES is doing something slightly different. Okay, if it's something like dramatically different, let's say the ES is having a huge crash and Bitcoin is lagging a little bit, and we're looking at a long trade on Bitcoin. Okay, then I understand. Right, why is the ES crashing so much, having such a big crash? This is probably going to lead into, this happens very quickly. You have to remember, but yeah, this will most likely lead into Bitcoin. So yes, there are certain circumstances where, well, if the stock market is having a huge, very quick, horrible crash, right, then I will stay clear from any long trades on Bitcoin because it's most likely going to do the same thing. But yeah, when I'm looking at trades, I'm not really using the ES to help determine whether I enter a trade or not. I just, yeah, like you stated there, I use it to help my bias, really. If they're doing the same thing, great. Okay. If they're not, fine. Okay. I'm not really too worried about it. It just kind of gives me a little bit more confidence, right? It helps with the emotion a little bit, which is always good. And I just wanted to bring up a little example of this. I always like to bring up examples. So let's go. Where am I looking? Right, I've got an example. So where were we? Let's just have a look. I remember I had an example. Okay, I used it to talk about something else, but it will work perfectly for this. So what do we have? April, and we had June. I think it might be this June move. Yeah, so it's this June move here. Okay, so in June, okay, in June, right, I took a short trade from up here. Okay, I took a short trade from here, and I think I added to it a little bit lower as well. So I took a short trade from here roughly at the start of June, and I took advantage of all of this move towards the downside here, right? But at that same time, the ES, right, we go to the start of June, right? On the ES, what was happening? Well, throughout the whole of June, the ES was rising, okay, but Bitcoin was pulling back, right? And I took a short trade from here, even though the ES was actually continuing to rise. So this is when I'm thinking, right, okay, the ES is rising, but Bitcoin is pulling back, right? So yeah, Bitcoin could continue higher, right? I've got a short trade here, so I'm happy. This is a short trade that I look for day in, day out. So I'm not gonna shy away from the short trade. I'm not gonna get scared out of the short trade because I know that on a statistical basis, on a probabilities basis, this is a very, very good position to be in, right? But then I look at the year, something, okay, it's rising, right? That's, it's not ideal, okay, but then this is just proof here that sometimes they are a little bit inversely correlated. So I would never let a trade, a move on the ES determine whether I take a trade on Bitcoin, unless, of course, if we're seeing a huge crash in the stock market. Because yeah, exactly like we've had this pretty quick, harsh move down, right? That fed straight into Bitcoin as well. So yeah, typically when we see big pullbacks on the ES, it feeds into Bitcoin. But yeah, when that's what you see happen the majority of the time. But when the stock market is rising, Bitcoin doesn't always have to follow it. We know that Bitcoin's a riskier asset. So yeah, when the stock market is rising, okay, Bitcoin doesn't always have to rise because people are a little bit more fearful putting their money into Bitcoin rather than the stock market because they know how long the stock market has been around for. They know it's a very, well, not very safe, but a pretty safe place to put their money for the long term. Well, a very safe place, to be honest, for the long term, yeah. But then Bitcoin, it's still got that little bit of a stigma about it, of course, which is fine, but we know it's maturing, right? We know it's maturing, and that's great. So yeah, that's just the example that I wanted to throw out there. I remember I had that example because I talked about it previously, yeah, because it happened. Because there was another example, and it happened April, right? So throughout April, okay, because it happened here as well. So I took a short trade here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulled back. Okay, when was this? This was, yeah, the start of April, from like the 9th of April, 9th, 10th of April. Okay, so yeah, of course, we were having a little bit of a pullback on the ES, but then the ES continued to rise here, right? The ES started to rise, but Bitcoin was still having that pullback up until the 1st of May, right? And yeah, 1st of May. So stock market was rising, right? Stock market was rising. So that's just another example to be aware of as well. So yeah, I think that's everything that I want to talk about. So of course, if you've got any more questions, please do put them in the chat, and I will of course answer them or take a look at anything that you are interested in me looking at. But yeah, where we are again, resistance, right? We are coming into resistance. Why are we rejecting at this level of resistance? Well, we know, right? People are long this move up. People have taken profit here. They've pulled back. They pulled the price back. More people have longed here, right? We had like 32 million in one candle. We had 42 million in one candle. Okay, long trades opening up down here. Price has risen. Okay, we're then coming into another level of resistance with the value area low, right? So more people are taking profit. Okay, so that's why we're pulling back again, because we're seeing sells coming into the market because longs are closing, right? So yeah, what we want to see is those longs continue to open and continue to hold their trades open of course continue to see price continue higher. But what we have to remember as well, right, we probably have a lot of long trades that are still open at this moment in time. If we continue to pull back, we can trap those traders, we can pull back further, and then we can look for the long trade at $54,000, of course, only if we see the long trade setup. All right. If I do not see the long trade setup, if I do not like it, I won't take it. Okay. But if I see what I want to see down there, like what I walked through earlier, right, we have the GP, we have the GP 786, we have the naked point of controls. Those are levels that are set. Those are levels that are, cannot be changed. Okay, which is great. But what we're relying on is we are relying on the absorption. Okay, we are relying on a nice reaction off of that level, right? We want to see the absorption happen there. Okay, we don't want to see the support be completely lost, right? If the support is lost, okay, and we're still getting absorption, right? Okay, fine. Maybe, right, we don't take the trade in that. Well, I wouldn't take the trade in that case if the support was broken. Okay, but in that case, maybe we're going to continue lower there. Okay, maybe the big trader there, the big buy limit order, isn't enough to hold up price. So yeah, we kind of just have to remain patient and wait and see what happens, really. But yeah, that's kind of it, really. That's kind of everything I wanted to talk about, really. So yeah, if you did enjoy this, please do make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Helps me out, helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring this this content to you as well. If you are new, please do subscribe and turn that bell notification on. And yeah, of course, I will see you in the next live stream, which will be tomorrow, which is a Thursday. And for any Visionary members, I will see you in the Visionary Discord, of course. And I, of course, will see you in the daily market update as well. If you want access to any of this, that is the first link in the description. It'll take you over to this page here. You can get access to all of that there. And then, of course, the free Discord is just the second link in the description. Yeah, that will be me signing off. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, guys. Thank you very much for putting your input into the chat, everyone, as well. Ben, always good to see you back here, my friend. So yeah, thank you for putting your input into the chat. Amelia, good to see you here. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See you later, and goodbye.
Take me home, cause I wanna feel like I belong. They relate to all this pain in my past, so they listen to my song. So let's go back to where it began and where it all started from. Take this chance, one last dance, cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me, girl. Let me show you what I wanna do. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you. Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted.